Have you ever wondered what happens to someone's house when they pass away with no will and no family? I mean, it doesn't just sit there empty forever, right? Well, there's a legal process for that exact situation, and it's called Escheat. Yeah, I know, it's spelled Escheat. Let's break down what that strange word really means and, more importantly, why it actually matters. Okay, so let's jump right in with the big question. Picture this. Someone passes away. They didn't write a will, and as far as anyone can tell, they have zero living relatives. Nobody. So, what happens to all their stuff? Specifically, who gets the house? And this image just nails the whole puzzle, doesn't it? You've got this property, but legally, it's an orphan. It's completely unclaimed. So, who is this lost and found service that's pulling up to the curb? What's going on here? Well, that service, in legal speak, is what we call the final receiver. It's the answer to the question, where does property go when it has absolutely nowhere else to land? And here we go. This is our official definition. A scheat is the legal process where that property transfers over to the state. Now, for this to happen, you need two key ingredients, right? Number one, the person died intestate, meaning without a will. And number two, there are absolutely no legal heirs to inherit the property. I know, definitions can be a little dry. So let's use a quick story to make this whole concept really stick. Imagine a wealthy man passes away, and he checks all the boxes for our scenario. He never got around to writing a will. He has no spouse, no kids, no brothers or sisters, not a single known relative anywhere on the family tree. Which brings us right back to our big question. Who gets the house? I mean, it can't just sit there in limbo forever. Someone's got to pay the taxes, someone has to maintain it. And this exact situation is where Escheat kicks in. The state steps up to become the owner of last resort. But why does this law even exist? You might be thinking it's just a way for the government to grab property, but its real purpose is to solve a very serious problem, the problem of orphaned property. Just think about the chaos that would happen if property had no clear owner. Who could legally sell it? Nobody. Who's paying the property taxes? Nobody. Who's even gonna mow the lawn? Without a clear owner, the property just deteriorates, and it can even become a huge target for squatters or fraud. So here's the crucial point to remember. A scheat isn't a penalty. It's a safety net. It creates a clean, predictable endpoint, making sure that every single piece of property always has a legal owner and doesn't just fall into some kind of legal black hole. And this is the absolute best way to remember this whole concept. It's a fantastic memory trick. When the estate has no heirs, it goes to the state. Estate to state. See? That simple little phrase helps you remember what it's for and helps you get past that really tricky spelling. Okay, now this is important because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. Escheat is often confused with a couple of other legal terms that sound kind of similar but are actually completely different. So let's clear that up right now. First up is eminent domain. They both involve the government and property, but trust me, they are polar opposites. Escheat is passive. It only happens because ownership has nowhere else to go. Eminent domain is active. That's the government deliberately taking private property for a public use, like building a highway. And, crucially, they're required by law to pay you fair market value for it. And the other one people mix up is forfeiture. This one's easy to remember. Forfeiture is a punishment. It's when property is seized by the government because it was used in some kind of illegal activity. Totally different from escheat, which is just about the simple absence of an owner. This slide right here is the perfect mental flashcard to lock it all in. Let's run through it one more time. Escheat, no will, no heirs. Eminent domain, public use with compensation. And forfeiture, it's a seizure because of wrongdoing. Three totally separate things. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is all very theoretical. This probably only applies to, wealthy hermits who live alone. But actually, the principles of Escheat pop up in our daily lives a lot more than you'd think. It usually goes by the name unclaimed property. Think about it. That old bank account you totally forgot about from college, a final paycheck from an old job you never cashed, or maybe a utility deposit from an apartment you lived in 5 years ago. This stuff adds up. In the US alone, states are holding on to tens of billions of dollars in unclaimed property. And really, the best way to think about this is that the state isn't just taking the money. It's acting like a giant lost and found. It's holding on to that property safely until the rightful owner, or their heirs, eventually show up to claim it. So the obvious next question is, how do you keep this from accidentally happening to your own assets? Well, the good news is it's actually pretty simple to prevent. Here's a quick and easy prevention checklist.
First, and this is a big one, keep the beneficiaries on your retirement and insurance accounts up to date. Second, if you move, make sure you update your address with your bank and any old employers. Third, just log into those old online accounts once in a while so they don't go dormant. And finally, the most powerful tool of all, just do some basic estate planning, like a simple will. That one step completely solves the whole no destination problem.
So, when you boil it all down, here's the big takeaway. Escheat is simply the legal system's ultimate safety net. If there's no legal person to receive property, the state becomes the final backstop to prevent chaos. Simple as that.
So now that you've totally mastered this weirdly named but super logical concept, I'm curious, what's another confusing legal term you've always wanted someone to just break down like this? Let us know.